What's up everyone, Killer35 Durant here bringing you my first video. It is the creation video for NCAA 14 Dynasty. I'm bringing NCAA 14 back to its glory days. And as much as I would hope for them to come back, I said in the last video that I wasn't going to rant about how much I didn't like that situation. So, I'm going to start a dynasty. I'm going to bring up one of the traditionally worst college football teams in all of pretty much just college athletics. This is the New Mexico Lobos, and they have won only two to this day in 2018. So in NCAA 14, they'd only won one. To this day, they've only won two bowl games since 1980. That is very sad, and New Mexico is it's very hard, to see a team struggle for so long. So I want to bring them back up, and this is the creation video of Robert Garrison, and he's going to bring some winning traditions. He's going to bring some good players, some NFL prospects to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's just how it's going to go. And so here, as you can see, I'm just creating the coach. Nothing too special. Got to have that sweater vest. Got to be classy with a visor. And in the offensive scheme, I chose the spread option. And for defense, I chose the 3-4 scheme, which is, pretty cool. And so I can be able to have some versatility at the linebacker position because 3-4 works for me. And also, I don't have to worry about recruiting defensive tackles as much as I would normally have to. So, yeah, I have to be able to bring up this team of such low prestige up to the top. And it's going to be pretty hard because, New Mexico, it's not like I have a great roster to work with. And, there are some great players at UNM, at least in my opinion. They're unfortunately seniors, so after this season, I'm probably not going to be able to, be as effective unless I have some great recruiting class, which I'm not really expecting to have. I'm expecting to get some guys, but most of them are probably going to be redshirted. So today's backups are tomorrow's future, for at least for now. And as you can see, I go through, at least briefly, as you saw their recent history. They gave me a 7-year contract, which is pretty crazy. 7-year contract for them, hoping that I win 5 games a year, which is not going to happen. I'm going to win like 11 games a year at UNM. I guarantee you that I'm going to bring us back to our winning ways, and I'm going to use all of my coaching skills to bring up recruiting so I can bring in some good players. Hopefully it all works out. So also, as you're going to be able to see later, how I'm going to set up my recruiting, how I'm going to redshirt a bunch of people. I'm going to give a brief run through of the roster. The roster is not that great, but I have stuff that I can work with. I can definitely say that. And so my recruiting scheme, I usually only go after like between 8 to 10 people to begin with, because I don't really like my recruiting classes to be that large. When you keep it at between like 15 recruits or so, like 15 commits a season, you won't have to cut anybody at the end of the season, and you can get transfers. Not that I want transfers, but that's like the secret to the madness, is you have to have scholarships to be able to let people transfer. And so I got to turn everything off so that I can do everything by myself. And I'm gonna give you a rundown of how UNM looks as a team through my school. And let me tell you, they are in dire need of a rebuild. Their best category is not even based on them. It's based on their conference, and it's a C+, which is not even that good. And so it's going to be really hard to bring in recruits with all those D's and C's. So it's looking like my high school transcript over here. But I'm just kidding. But I'm going to go through all the players that I want to redshirt. I'm going to have another opportunity to look in depth at all the positions in terms of looking at the roster. I pretty much redshirt almost everybody that I can redshirt. At least that's not a senior. Seniors can't be redshirted. But, they're going to be able to get some good development in and maybe help out the team for next season. And so, yeah, that's going to help. Our offense is pretty good. We've got a pretty stacked running back core, but our defense is abysmal. Like, heavily abysmal. Like if you look at our corners, which you'll see in a minute, I don't know how I'm gonna defend the pass at all. Which I didn't really do anything to the depth chart. I just pretty much said the best players are play, and that's gonna be that. And I'm gonna look at the schedule here real quick, and NCAA gave me a brutal schedule. I don't know how I'm gonna get through it, at least without having some blowouts coming my way. I do see a few upsets that I could be able to pull. This is a pretty easy playbook to be able to build someone through. It's a pretty versatile playbook. And I'm going to be relying pretty heavily on the work of my running backs and my outside receivers. My outside receivers do a lot of work in this offense, and I really hope that none of them drop the ball a lot, because they're going to have a lot of passes come their way. And so that pretty much sets up mainly the team. I'm going to look up the schedule right here. As you can see, Pittsburgh and Florida. I'm probably definitely going to lose to Florida, as bad as they are. Wyoming is a team that I have to watch out for. New Mexico State is a pretty decent team. They have a really good running back. And so it's going to be pretty hard. And, right here I'm going to go through the roster. As you can see, pretty offensive, and our offensive line which is the cornerstone of our team, at least for this season. Our offensive line is awesome. I love our offensive line. Our receivers are okay. Our tight ends aren't really that great, but at least they're kind of fast, but they're short. There's DeAndre Jordan's brother. Our offensive line is definitely something to be looking forward to. Aaron Jenkins is someone who maybe, just by the sliver, if he plays really well, could go to the pros, maybe. But I probably doubt it. Everybody else, if you look at this defense, it's rough. This is going to be something that I'm going to work on. I'm definitely going to be recruiting a lot of athletes to be putting at a lot of these positions. At least our special teams is pretty good. We got a good kicker and punter. Although, if you ask me, I think it's just because of the high altitude is the reason why they look good. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that I covered everything. I'm going to be posting about 2 to 3 games a week, depending on everything. So, yeah, thank you, everybody who's watching. Be sure to share it, like it, and subscribe it. And I will see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.